Hey, hello and welcome YouTube to another episode of The Top Shelf with me, Shantanu D. Today I have a very exciting new pen to share with you all. It's a very old pen brand, but I've never really owned this pen, so I'm quite excited to share this with you. It is a Sheaffer. Now, this is a Sheaffer Prelude, as the title of this video suggests. And just to walk you through about this pen, this is the box. It's a fairly unimpressive box, but I appreciate the fact that it's not a very big and large box with just lots of paperwork and empty space. I appreciate the fact that it's fairly utilitarian and can be possibly reused. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the Sheaffer Prelude. It comes in this faux leather kind of a shiny plastic box. It's not the best in the world. It's got a bit of a scuff over here, but yeah, that's all right. And yeah, this is the pen. As you can see, it comes in a Sheaffer branded box and a plastic sleeve. I'll keep that aside for a second. And a nice pen pillow, and with this Sheaffer branding, which is embossed, which is also really soft, so it's quite nice. And I remove this, and we have two Sheaffer cartridges, one blue and one black. And of course, these are proprietary cartridges. And here's the use and care guide, lifetime warranty, and it's got the dealer stamp, etc., etc. I bought this from William Penn, which is a pen retailer in India. So Sheaffer, established 1913. That's pretty much it. I have this comes with the converter as well, and the converter is in the pen, so we'll get to that shortly. I'm just going to put this away, and I don't want to make too much noise. There we go. Right, now let's take a look at the pen. This is the Sheaffer Prelude Deep Blue. Now this belongs, I'm told, to the Heritage collection, and if I were to believe what Sheaffer says on their website. Now I've never really owned a Sheaffer. A friend of mine used to own a vintage Sheaffer, sorry. But this particular one I recently saw in the store, and I was like quite taken by it. The light doesn't do justice to it because it's essentially blue, but it looks black in this, so bear with me. If you want to see high resolution photos, I would recommend Googling it or going to the Sheaffer website. Let's talk about this pen now. The Sheaffer Prelude is the quintessential writer's pen, if you ask me. The pen is compact and extremely comfortable to write with, especially with regard to longer writing sessions. And the traditional cigar-shaped silhouette is fairly refined in its finish, and sports the famous Sheaffer white dot. And I was told by the retailer that this white dot is not only over here, but it is also here. So whatever that means, I don't know what that means, but yeah, oh well. But I quite like that. I quite like that finial with the white dot over here. Here's a closer look. So that's the finial, and there's the white dot, which is fairly ubiquitous with most Sheaffer pens. And the finish. Now let's talk about the finish. The pen's finish is reminiscent of the sort of Art Deco inspired design aesthetic, with horizontal engravings, as you can see over here. It's got these lines, and with a deep blue PVD finish. It feels really good. It's very smooth. It's quite sexy actually, and a polished chrome plated trim. So the trim is all chrome plated from the clip to the center band, which I will get to shortly. And this pen is, I mean, if you ask me, it's definitely a looker. It's a bit of a fingerprint magnet, if you ask me, but that's all right. You can always wipe it off and it looks pretty cool. Now, let's get into the parts. Whoops, let's get into the parts of this pen. One thing that I'm not a big fan of is this cap band over here. It says, as you can see, Sheaffer. It says Sheaffer, 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 Sheaffer 4 times. That's a bit much, I felt. And frankly, they could have just put the model name or something like that over there. But, well, who's to decide what pen companies do? We just enjoy the writing, don't we? Right. So let's get into the parts of this pen. Now, this is a classic cigar-shaped pen. It's not exactly a cigar-shaped from the standpoint of if you were to look at as a Pilot Custom 823 or a Mont Blanc 149. But it's good fun. It's 5.5 inches long. So that's the length of this pen when it is capped. Now let's uncap this pen to reveal the stainless steel. Just gonna, I hope it's focusing. Yeah, the stainless steel Sheaffer nib, which is a fine. It's got a bit of scroll work, and interestingly, it says Sheaffers on the nib, which it doesn't say anywhere else. So maybe that harks back to the old style and the old way that they wrote Sheaffers. So that's the nib. It's a fine. I tend to prefer fine nibs, but it's a very smooth writer, and it's stainless steel. I believe it's available only in fine and medium, which I suppose is all right. But if you want more nib options, then the Sheaffer brand of pens is really not for you. Now, the grip section is something that I'd like to talk about. It's a very interesting grip section. It's a fairly thin grip. I don't have the measurements, but this gives you an idea of the pen. If you can see, there are these vertical sort of two-sided grip sections. So there's one on this side and then there's one on this side. So it's got this nice grip that you can get. Because it's a fairly thin section, I feel that this is a very ingenious design, and particularly for my writing style, if you're a traditional gripper of a pen, this is particularly interesting, and what they've done with it over here. So they've got this, just going to bring it a little closer so you can see it. There you go. I think that's clear. One on this side and one on this side. So it kind of has this almost triangular sort of grip thing, but not quite. So it's rather comfortable when you write with it. And I've seen many grip sections which are this thin, including like the Mont Blanc 145, which is a slim grip section, which has a slim grip section, but really isn't very comfortable. Even the Lamy CP1 comes to mind when you have these thin grip sections. Right, that's enough of the grip section and the nib. Let's move on to the filling system. Now here's a bit of a gripe that I have with this pen. It takes forever to remove the barrel from the grip section. Let's do a count, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12 rotations. And the threads inside the barrel are obviously metal, but for me this is a problem because this is essentially plastic threads, and I'm not sure how that will do with time, especially because when you have metal on plastic. But anyway, having said that, this is the converter, and the converter is a proprietary, just like the cartridges, a proprietary converter of a Sheaffer. And yeah, let's screw it back in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh my god. It's 17 turns to shut the barrel into the grip section. That's quite something. It has a fairly nice and firm capping mechanism. You can hear that. I hope you heard that. Here's a closer sound. There it is. So it's a fairly nice capping click sound. Right, so let's move on now to a size comparison. What do we have over here? Here, let's get my trusty pen display stand. This is made of rose wood. And here is the Lamy Safari in mango. Here is a Sailor Pro Gear Slim, and we have a Parker Vector. We have a Kaweco Sport, a classic blue, and we have the pen in question, the Sheaffer Prelude. So as you can see, it's not a very large pen. It's a very comfortable sized pen. It looks great. It feels good. It's got a great balance. It's pretty much in size, in terms of size similarity, compared with the Parker Vector, a bit longer than the Pro Gear Slim, and of course the Lamy Safari is much longer. Now, what do they look like uncapped? Let's take a look. This is uncapped. Really makes no difference for the Kaweco Sport, frankly, because it's a tiny pen. Here we go, and this is the Sailor Pro Gear Slim and the Lamy Safari. So quite interesting, that comparison. It's just a hair shorter than the Lamy Safari. Right, so let me just get all those pens aside. That gives you a size comparison. And let's move on to the pen in question. This, I prefer to write with this posted, and I found it to be a fairly good writer for longer sessions. So let's get into the writing sample. Right, what do we have here? As you can see, it's posted. This is the, whoops, pen has been open for a while, Sheaffer Prelude. Deep blue, PVD in a fine nib, and the ink is Pilot Shizuku. Pardon the handwriting. Tsukiyo. The paper is a Rhodia pad. Not my favorite paper. I find this paper to be too smooth, and frankly, I'm more of a fan of, say, Fabriano, or the Leuchtturm 1918, and of course the Midori cotton paper, which is excellent. I like some feedback in the paper. I like to have the paper. I like that the paper has some fiber in it. It gives some feedback. I don't like glossy, smooth nibs. So you might not see too many variations in the ink, the properties of the ink in this. As you can see over here, it looks fairly black. That's just because this particular Rhodia pad, that's why I don't like Rhodia so much. But for this review, we are using this paper. And what else? It's fairly smooth. I'm just going to be quiet for a second, and so that you can hear this, the nib at work. So I know the camera tends to pick up more noise off the nib, but it's fairly quiet. And that's pretty much it, you know. Let's see how it lays down ink. Yeah, it's fairly wet, but it dries pretty quickly, but that could also be the property of the ink. I think there you can see a little bit of the signature, the color of Sukiyo. But the camera really never captures the reality of this color. And that's pretty much it for this pen. The Sheaffer Prelude Deep Blue. I believe it's available for $85. Here in India, I got it for about 7,000 rupees, and available in fine and medium. If you like this video and if you like this pen, go and get it. But do subscribe. I'm starting out new on YouTube. If you like what you see, you share it with your friends, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.